A defensive personality is often built around a deep need to protect the self from criticism, rejection, shame, or the painful possibility of being wrong. From the outside, a defensive person may appear confident, stubborn, argumentative, or emotionally difficult. But beneath those reactions, there is often an underlying fear that being confronted with a mistake will somehow threaten their identity. Instead of hearing feedback as information, they experience it as an attack. A simple suggestion can feel like an insult, a disagreement can feel like disrespect, and an innocent question can trigger an immediate explanation or justification. They may interrupt conversations, shift blame, bring up someone else's mistakes, deny obvious behavior, or create elaborate reasons for why they could not possibly be responsible. Sometimes they become angry. Other times, they withdraw completely. But the purpose remains the same: protecting themselves from emotional discomfort. One of the most revealing signs is the inability to apologize without adding excuses. They may say they are sorry, but quickly explain why the other person caused the situation or why their behavior was justified. Over time, this pattern makes honest communication increasingly difficult because people around them learn that speaking openly will only lead to arguments, denial, or emotional distance. The greatest tragedy of a defensive personality is that the very behavior designed to protect relationships can slowly destroy them. When every mistake becomes a battle and every criticism becomes a threat, genuine growth becomes almost impossible. The person may remain trapped in the same patterns for years because they rarely allow themselves to examine their own behavior without immediately defending it. Recognizing these signs is not about judging someone for having emotional defenses, because everyone becomes defensive sometimes, especially when they feel hurt, embarrassed, or misunderstood. The difference is whether defensiveness becomes a consistent pattern that prevents accountability and honest self-reflection. Emotional maturity begins when you can hear something uncomfortable without immediately turning it into a personal attack. You can acknowledge a mistake without believing you are a bad person. You can accept criticism while still maintaining your dignity. Real confidence does not require constant self-protection because it understands that being wrong is not the opposite of being worthy. The moment you stop defending every imperfection and start examining your reactions with curiosity, you create space for something far more powerful than pride: genuine growth. Sometimes the strongest response is not proving that you are right, but having the courage to admit that there is something you could have done better.